You know, we all love to think we're these completely rational modern creatures, right? That we're in full command of our daily lives. But underneath all of that, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible, ancient forces that push and pull at us from deep within.
Seriously, think about it for a second. Have you ever felt like something else was just entirely controlling your actions? Like, have you ever acted completely out of character in a heated moment? Maybe you said something you immediately regretted, or you felt this sudden overwhelming urge to join in on a massive public pile-on. It really feels like something just came over you, doesn't it? Your heart races, your palms sweat, and your brain just locks in. Well, in this explainer, we're going to completely dismantle that myth of losing control and show you exactly why you aren't always fully in the driver's seat to begin with.
Section 1. The stranger in your head.
Okay, let's break this down. Meet Alex. We've all been Alex. He's about to experience a very real, everyday psychological crisis. Just picture him staring at his smartphone, casually scrolling through his feed after a long day. Suddenly, boom, a highly controversial post pops up. Almost instantly, his heart rate spikes. He feels this sudden rush of absolute certainty and just blinding anger. And here's the crazy part. He hasn't even processed the facts yet, but his body is already reacting with intense physical arousal. The rational part of his brain, completely bypassed.
So he scrolls down and sees 5,000 angry comments. People are absolutely outraged. And almost automatically, Alex joins the mob. He types out this furious response. The urge to attack feels completely irresistible, fueled by this massive rush of adrenaline and a deep biological craving for tribal belonging. I mean, it feels intensely good to be on the right side, right? But here is the trap. Alex gets swept up in this virtual crowd, and he mistakes this overwhelming downward emotional pull for a conscious, rational choice. He genuinely believes he's acting of his own free will.
Section 2. Swept up in the mob.
But what is actually happening to Alex? Well, to decipher this hidden psychological puppeteer, we're turning to our guide for this explainer, Robert Greene, and his brutally realistic book, The Laws of Human Nature. You can consider this your ultimate code book for understanding why we do the things we do. Greene has gathered an immense storehouse of knowledge from history, psychology, philosophy, to piece together an incredibly accurate guide to our species. He basically strips away all those comfortable illusions we hold about ourselves and exposes the raw mechanics underneath.
We desperately love to flatter ourselves. We think we're these sophisticated, highly technological, enlightened beings. But Greene argues the exact opposite. We have literally never been more in the thrall of human nature. Our modern technology doesn't suppress these ancient instincts. It amplifies them to a scale we've never seen before. And ignoring these elemental forces, it just means you're dooming yourself to patterns that are entirely beyond your control. As Greene warns us, human nature is stronger than any individual. It literally moves us around like pawns on a chessboard.
Section 3. Your brain's ancient wiring.
So to really understand why Alex felt that irresistible urge to join the mob, we have to trace this back, way back, like 5 million years back. His intense reaction actually originates from millions of years of evolutionary survival tactics. Long before we even invented language, our earliest ancestors survived by cooperating. They evolved to read complex emotions, things like joy, shame, resentment, on each other's faces in literal milliseconds. They became highly permeable to group emotions because back then, straying from the group didn't mean getting canceled. It meant physical danger or death. Fast forward to today, and that exact same primal wiring is just operating in a modern environment. That ancient lightning-fast permeability, that is exactly what traps Alex in a viral echo chamber today.
Section 4. The illusion of control.
We really heavily rely on that comforting myth of, oh, I don't know, something just came over me. But let's actually look under the hood at the exact anatomy of your brain. Our brains evolved in distinct layers over time. First, we have the limbic brain. That's the old mammalian brain. It acts like a highly sensitive alarm system, governing those incredibly fast chemical emotional responses. On top of that is the neocortex, the newer logical center that handles higher cognition and language. Think of the limbic brain as a high-speed sports car, and the neocortex is a bicycle. Emotions originate as these lightning-fast chemical reactions that instantly capture our attention, and then our neocortex basically has to slowly pedal from behind, trying to translate those messy physical feelings into logical words. Because of this massive speed difference, our fast limbic brain processes arousal long before the neocortex can make logical sense of it. So that blinding anger, it feels totally real, but it's really just a biological head start.
And hey, if you think falling for this means you're just not smart enough, think again. The incredible power of this primal social force is absolutely not a sign of low intelligence. Even the most brilliant minds in history felt completely helpless against it.
Take Sir Isaac Newton. He famously lost a massive fortune in the 1720 South Sea Bubble, which was basically this huge stock market craze driven entirely by groupthink. Baffled by his own irrational participation and his total inability to stop himself, he profoundly noted that he could calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people.
Now this brings us to the really uncomfortable reality of human aggression. We often like to think aggression is just an anomaly, a glitch in an otherwise peaceful system. But it is deeply, deeply wired into our species. Just look at the roots. We are constantly haunted by the underlying awareness of our own mortality. We have to navigate this world of totally unpredictable social status, where we could lose our jobs or our social standing at any given moment. We carry all these hidden vulnerabilities and deep insecurities from childhood wounds. And today, we constantly feel the phantom presence of virtual crowds judging us through our screens. It's like the modern substitute for the village keeping an eye on us. So Alex's online hostility? It isn't just about a single post. It's actually just a mask for deep-seated, latent aggression that gets triggered by all these unpredictable, stressful factors in daily life.
Section 5. Master your inner self.
So, are we just doomed? How do we actually escape this and stop being pawns to our own biology? Well, Robert Greene provides some very actionable tools to break free from this programming. Step 1 is recognizing your biases. You just have to humbly accept that your emotions are constantly and seamlessly coloring your thinking. Step 2 is to beware the inflaming factors. You have to actively identify when the viral energy of social media or that phantom crowd is triggering your limbic system. And step 3 is bringing out the rational self. This requires intentional pausing. You have to deliberately subtract those fast emotions, give your slower neocortex the time it desperately needs to actually process reality, and actively detach from the toxic magnetic pull of the group.
But to pull this off, you have to overcome a very common, very natural reflex. Whenever we learn about these darker human qualities, things like narcissism, envy, aggression, we always want to exclude ourselves, don't we? We instinctively point fingers and think, well, that's the other person. I don't do that. But listen, we are all cut from the exact same cloth. You have to stop pointing fingers. Stop blaming external circumstances or other people for your negative reactions. You must actively turn the lens inward, examine your own shadow, and become acutely aware of your own passive-aggressive tendencies.
And that brings us to the ultimate question. To disguise behavior that is frowned upon by the modern tribe, every single one of us has formed a shadow personality, constructed entirely out of repressed desires and hidden impulses. Escaping the mob is only the very beginning of your journey. The real, difficult work is deciphering your true, unseen nature. So I'm going to leave you with this. What dark desires are hiding in your shadow personality right now, just waiting for the crowd to give them permission to escape?